Hi everyone, this is Merly and welcome back to Gardening in Kentucky YouTube channel. In today's video, I will share with you my garden planner for the year 2023. So this is my detailed list of planting schedule for fruits, vegetables, and a few flowers. And I have updated this list based on my last frost date, which is April 17th, 2023. If your last frost date is different from mine, you would look at the number of weeks to start seeds before setting out and estimate, like if it is 4 weeks, so you just have to work backwards, um, whatever is your last frost date is, and then work backwards to get that 4 weeks. And these are some of the plants that I will be growing in my garden this year. First, the mung beans, which I will direct sow after last frost. But I picked May 14th for this one to make sure that the ground is already workable. And then Royal Burgundy beans will also be on May 15th. The beans, strike bush beans, May 14th, including the top-notch golden wax and the string beans or the asparagus beans. And then you see in here the days to germination, 1 to 2 days for the mung beans, 8 to 10 days for the other beans on my list. Days to harvest is the one in red, the last column, and it's showing that the mung beans is harvested from 90 to 120 days, so that's a long time because you're gonna have to wait for the beans to dry on the plant. The Royal Burgundy is 60 days. The strike bush beans is 55 days. The golden wax beans is 50 days. The asparagus beans is 50 to 55. Next on my list is the bitter melon. When to start inside on this column right here, March 21st. Usually it started 4 weeks before your last frost date. And then Waltham 29 broccoli, you can start indoor between February 21st and March 6th. And then you can plant it outdoors around your last frost date. Brussels sprouts, I have the Catskill variety, same as the broccoli, February 21st up to March the 6th. Cabbage, early golden acre, between March 14th to 21st, and then you can plant it outside 2 weeks before your last frost date. The pak choy cabbage, between February 28th to March 14th is when I start the seeds indoor, and then I will plant it outside 2 weeks before my last frost date. And the next on the list is the atomic red carrot. I have the Danvers 126, little fingers carrots, purple carrots, rainbow mix carrots, and then I have the red colored chantenay carrots and the scarlet nantes and also the yellow carrots. Now, carrots can be planted before your first, no, before your last frost date. So this is supposed to be last frost date, before last frost. Let me just fix this real quick. And then I'm just going to copy this into the rest of the boxes for carrots. Okay, paste. So again, for carrots, you can plant them before your last frost date. The date that I put for mine is March 18th. Carrots can take a light frost. Well, actually, I have carrots that I have planted last September or October of last year, and they're still alive. They're in my garden. Cauliflower, purple of Sicily. I have three kinds. The purple of Sicily, there's a self-blanching, and I got the Snowball X cauliflower. So seed starting for the purple of Sicily between January 24th and February 28th. And then for the self-blanching cauliflower and the Snowball X would be between February 21st and March 7th. It is safe to plant it outside 2 weeks before last frost date. So I have my date estimate between April the 4th to the 18th for planting outside. Next is celery. So the pink plume, and I have the Utah tall celery. The pink plume can be started indoor 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. The Utah tall is 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. So my estimated date would be between February 27th and March 13th for the pink plume celery, and January 24th through February 27th for the Utah tall celery. The celery does not like very cold temperature, so I planned on planting my celery seedlings outside after April 17th. Next on the list would be a few corn varieties: baby corn, Bloody Butcher, Blue Hoppy, Glass Gem, Indian Corn, Miniature Blue Popcorn, Mini Pink Popcorn, Oaxacan Green Dent, Red Strawberry Popcorn. These are just the seeds that I have. That's why I included them on my list. Um, I usually direct sow my corn, and the dates that I have planned on doing this are after April 17th. So I have one on April 25th. That's the baby corn. The baby corn can be harvested after 30 to 35 days. And then after April 17th for the rest of my corn plants. Next on the list is the cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, usually I direct sow my cantaloupe in the garden, but this year I planned on starting the seeds indoor about 2 weeks before my last frost date, and then after April 17th, it should be safe to plant it outside. And then next will be the cucumbers. I have Marketmore 76, Muncher cucumber, the National Pickling. I plant this all the time. Tender green for fresh eating. And my new favorite, the White Wonder cucumber. So most of the cucumbers are also direct sown in my garden, but I might have to start a couple of them indoors, like the tender green, so we can have an early harvest. Between March 28th and April 5th would be the time when I start my tender green cucumber, and then safe time to plant the cucumbers outdoor would be between April 25th and May 2nd. Next is eggplant. So I have four different eggplant varieties: the Black Beauty eggplant, the Casper eggplant, the early long purple, and the long purple eggplant. So eggplants grow very slowly, so you can start them 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. So my estimate would be between February 10th to the 20th, but it's already the 23rd right now. So this weekend, the 25th or the 26th will be the time when I plant my eggplants. And then they will be transplanted to my garden after April 17th. Now the garlic is normally planted in the fall, around November in my area. I missed that planting season, so I planted my garlic at last week of January and up to like first week of February. And then next on the list are different flowers. So I have some flowers that I will start indoor. African daisy, 6 to 8 weeks before last frost date. So February 27th through March 13th. Gold marigold, that's gonna be direct sown outside. And then the alyssum carpet of snow, 6 weeks before last frost date. The royal carpet alyssum is 4 weeks before last frost date, which is March 21st. Aster will be March 13th. But then again, these flowers will be planted outside after April 17th. Let's look at some more dates. The bachelor's buttons will be direct seeded in the garden after my last frost date. The polka dot mixed colors, I tried this last year but they didn't grow. But I was successful in growing the other colors like blue, white, red, and black bachelor's button. Um, I'm gonna try some of the other varieties. Carnation, I already missed that one. That's 10 to 12 weeks before the last frost date, which was supposedly between January 14th and February 7th. But I might try to plant some carnation seeds just for an experiment. And then Cosmo Dwarf Dazzler Red between January 24th and 28th would be um, when I start this. So this is gonna be next this weekend when I will start this, and then the Cosmo Single Sensation Mixed Colors on March 7th. I realized that cosmos are very beautiful, so I'm gonna plant more this year. Wildflower mix will be direct sown in the garden. I grew one dahlia last year and it was very pretty. So I'm gonna grow some more. That's 6 to 8 weeks before last frost date, which is February 27th through March 13th. And then I have some more flowers. Some will be direct seeded in the garden. Some will be planted or started indoor. The lavender, common English lavender, needs cold stratification, and that's 8 to 12 weeks. So between January 24th through February 28th. So this is still good. So I can still plant this lavender plant, and then I have another one which is called the Munstead lavender between March 13th through the 21st. And then the lavender true container variety, it says you can plant it anytime, so that sounds good. Marigold between March 13th through 21st. Nasturtium, it says direct sow, but last year I actually started nasturtium indoors. Out of the 10 seeds that I planted, 2 of them germinated and 1 of them survived, and it was beautiful. Next is the ornamental wheat on March 28th. Pansy between February 10th and the 20th, so I'm a little bit late on that one. Petunia, February 10th. Shasta Daisy between February 27th and March 13th. Now, I noticed that Shasta Daisy is very cold resistant. I still have my Shasta Daisy in my garden from last year, and it has grown very thick now, so I'm so excited to see the flowers from that plant. I will be planting lots of sunflowers. The evening sun sunflower is one of my favorites. So definitely I'm going to be planting evening sun sunflower again. The mammoth sunflower is awesome as well. My chickens love them. And then the velvet queen sunflower has a beautiful color. The evening sun and velvet queen will be direct sown. The mammoth sunflower, I put in here start between March 21st through the 28th. This is my first batch. I'm gonna have a second batch that I will plant around first week of June, and which will be direct seeded in my garden. Next will be the herbs. So basil, the Genovese basil and the dark opal basil will be started indoor on March 7th. cilantro or coriander, and the slow bolt cilantro will be direct seeded in the garden after April 17th, and then dill between February 27th through March 13th. Oregano, oh, I have a lot of oregano already. I just included it on my list because I had this last year, but I don't think I need to start some oregano. And they're cold hardy too. They survive the winter here in my area. Parsley, February 21st. Rosemary, February 21st. Sage, between February 21st and March 7th. Thyme, March 7th. Lacinato or dinosaur kale between February 21st and March 7th. The dwarf blue curled kale is the same, February 21st to March 7th. And then next on the list are the lettuces. So that will be around March 21st, the Paris Island. I think this is romaine lettuce, March 14th. The price head is between March 17th to 31st. And then next on my list are the melons. The cantaloupe, April 18th. Honeydew melon, April 18th. Um, the sugar baby watermelon is April 18th. And again, I'm going to grow my sugar baby watermelon on the cattle panel trellis, just like what I did last year. It's so pretty and it's so clean. Next is okra. The Clemson spineless okra and the red burgundy okra will be direct sown in my garden between May 26th through the 30th. Evergreen bunching onion needs to be started indoors 4 weeks before your last frost date. Mine will be on March 21st. Tokyo long white bunching onions and the Utah yellow sweet Spanish onions 8 to 10 weeks before last frost date. So that would be between February the 1st through the 21st. And then peas. Peas are cold weather crops and you can direct sow them in your garden after your last frost date. That would be after April 17th in my area. Next, one of my favorite things to grow, the peppers, and I love sweet peppers. Usually 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 weeks before last frost date. That's when you start your peppers. The Corno de Toro is between January 24th through the 28th. And then the other peppers like the red bell, giant Marconi, jalapeno, Jimmy Nardello, Keystone Wonder, purple beauty bell, red bell, sweet banana, and yellow wonder. That's between February the 1st up to the 21st. And then I'm going to plant them outside around May 2nd. Next will be the potatoes. I have a couple of potatoes, Idaho and the red potatoes, which will be direct sown in the garden after April 17th. And then next I have pumpkins, Jarradale, Jack B. Little, Jack O' Lantern, Long Island cheese, Valenciano, Winter Luxury, and all of this will be direct sown in the garden on June 11th. And then radish, the daikon and early scarlet globe radishes will be planted before first frost. So that will be around April the 2nd. Two kinds of spinach. Now this spinach here, the Bloomsdale long-standing, is the cool weather spinach. That's going to be before first frost, April the 2nd. Now the red Malabar spinach is a warm weather spinach. This is the tropical spinach. Will be started on February 28th, but will be planted outdoor on May 2nd. So they're just going to hang out inside my house until it's warm enough for them to survive outside. Next would be the squash. Okay, so first group are the summer squashes, Black Beauty, Cocoa Zell, dark green zucchini, crookneck squash, 8-ball zucchini, scallop yellow bush, white bush scallop, summer squash. All of this will be planted outdoor on May 7th. And then the next group of squashes that I have on my list are the winter squashes. I have the black futsu, blue Hubbard, delicata, golden Hubbard, sweet dumpling, and the Waltham butternut. And Waltham butternut is my most favorite. Will also be direct sown in my garden around June the 4th. Purple sweet potato. I put a note in here to start growing slips indoors on February 12th, but honestly, I have not started it yet, and it's already February the 23rd. So this weekend, I'm gonna do this. And the next on the list are the tomatoes. I do have some new varieties of tomatoes that I ordered from MI Gardener. I have not opened the envelope yet, but they're already here. And since I got so busy, I didn't add them to this list. But anyway, tomatoes are usually started between 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. So that would be between February the 21st and March the 7th. And then will be transplanted outdoor after my last frost date, and I picked May the 7th to do all of this. And I'm gonna have some cherry tomatoes, beef steak tomatoes, and I have ordered some varieties that can go as big as like 2 or 3 pounds a piece. And then San Marzano. I still have San Marzano and Roma, but I'm gonna order. There's one that I've read. It's called the Ferdel tomato. It's like Roma and it's good for making pasta sauce, spaghetti sauce, something like that. But it's not very much affected by blossom and rot, so I'm excited to have those. So this is my detailed list of seed planting schedule. Now let's take a look at the summary of my garden planner for this year. But this one is just for the vegetables and the fruits, and I arranged this according to the date. So it'll be easier for me to figure out when to plant them. So garlic is done, celery February 26th, eggplant is February 26th, and you might have noticed that these dates are not exactly the same as the one that's on the detailed plan, and the reason for that is um, I work full time, so I can only plant on the weekend. So these are mostly weekend dates when I plant this. Eggplants February 26th. My herbs will also be on February 26th, and on that same date, I'll be planting kale, onions, peppers, and sweet potatoes. And then February 28th, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, the red Malabar spinach, tomatoes and carrots will be started on March 11th, bitter melon and lettuce on March 18th. March 25th would be the radish and the Bloomsdale spinach. Melons, cantaloupe, honeydew, and watermelon will be started indoors on April the 8th. The peas will be direct sown under covers on April 22nd. Potatoes will be direct sown on April 22nd as well. The corn will be started on April 29th. Beans, cucumbers, okra, and squash on May 14th. And the pumpkins will be started on June 11th. So that's all for my garden plan for this year here in Zone 7, Kentucky. I hope this helps people out there who are trying to figure out when to plant their garden. Let me know if you have any questions. That's gonna be all for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day.